here. They got the white vans, they got the trucks, they got all this out.
Tonight, outrage in Southern California, where President Trump's immigration enforcement crackdown took federal agents to a park. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass showing up in the middle of the commotion.
They need to leave because this is unacceptable.
Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Betty Yu. California National Guard troops and military vehicles helped protect immigration officers during today's raid at Los Angeles' famous MacArthur Park. Fox 11's Laura Diaz shows us how the raid ended without one person being detained.
This is an overreach of your authority.
By 11:10, there was tanks and all this. They got tanks all through here. They got the white vans, they got the trucks, they got all this out.
About 10:30 Monday morning, heavily armored Border Patrol officers with a fleet of vehicles and some on horseback descended on MacArthur Park. This is the heart of the immigrant community, just 2 miles from downtown LA. Sky Fox was overhead as the operation kicked in. Our Fox 11 photographer Sam Dubin on the ground recording the dramatic scene. Immigration agents in military green carrying rifles. Neighbors and community activists rushed to the park, challenging those in the action. Children were scurried from the urban park.
The military pointed their guns at us and were screaming at us, cursing to get the out of there.
Among those arriving on the scene was LA Mayor Karen Bass, flanked by security and in a crush of people pushing for the operation to end. Our camera caught her on the phone, pleading with officials to stop.
You're getting ready to leave? Okay, please, can you leave ASAP? My comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now.
Soon after, the operation ended, reportedly with not one undocumented person taken into custody. A couple of hours later, a news conference was called at LA City Hall with the mayor surrounded by community activists and city council members denouncing the raid. Fox News spoke exclusively with Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bavino, who had tough words for Bass.
The federal government is not leaving LA. I don't work for Karen Bass. The federal government doesn't work for Karen Bass. We're going to be here till that mission's accomplished, as I said, and better get used to us now because this is going to be normal very soon.
He's calling for you to get used to it. What is your response?
I'm not going to get used to it. I'm not going to get used to it because last I checked, I was elected to be mayor of the city. That did not include a federal takeover. So either you believe in democracy or you don't.
And that was Fox 11's Laura Diaz reporting. Mayor Bass says the person she reached on the phone to discuss the situation was the head of customs. A man was shot and killed after police say he opened fire at a Border Patrol facility in Texas this morning. Investigators say the man was heavily armed and fired dozens of rounds at agents. The man did not make it into the Border Patrol building, but police say they found him equipped with more ammunition and other weaponry. The facility is located across the street from McAllen International Airport, and as a precaution, officials shut down that airport. Tonight, the death toll in catastrophic flash flooding in Texas has risen to 104. Camp Mystic is grieving the loss of 27 campers and counselors. As the search and rescue for more survivors and victims continues, more rain is expected in central Texas. We spoke with former FEMA coordinator Mark Naveau earlier tonight about the major challenges facing rescuers, including the size of the area and the fast-moving river itself.
That river normally flows at 6 cubic feet per second. During the storm, it was 20,000. Wow. So the pressure and the difficulty in terms of people getting caught up in that and where do they end up. So it's a wide search area on top of everything else.
And Naveau said that drone operators are among the many search and rescue volunteers. Those drones survey the area and then radio back to the command center where people on horseback head out to those coordinates to try and find people. Among the missing is the Walker family from Kentfield in Marin County, California. As each day passes, family and friends say they're hoping the family will turn up alive, but they're bracing for the worst. flowers sit outside the Walker's Marin County home. 52-year-old Mark Walker, his wife 50-year-old Sarah Sharkey Walker, and their 14-year-old son Johnny are among the dozens still missing after the Guadalupe River flooded its banks. Mark Walker is the older brother of former San Francisco Giants pitcher Tyler Walker. Their mother, Kathy, lives in San Rafael and said they're still praying for a miracle. The Walkers' 16-year-old daughter was away at summer camp, also in Texas, and is safe.
Horrible news because, we just imagined the daughter having lost her entire family. That's horrible. And they were so nice, and we were looking forward to getting to know them better as neighbors.
The 16-year-old girl is a student at Marin Catholic High School in Kentfield. Her brother was set to be a freshman there this fall. The school plans to hold a prayer service on Tuesday. And this tragedy brings up painful memories for search and rescue workers in Arizona. Fox 10's Kenzie Beach spoke with them about challenges they faced when a flash flood hit one of their recreation areas in 2017.
I'm standing here in the East Verde River, a place remembered as one of Arizona's deadliest flash floods. And 8 years later, this dense debris is still here all along the river, a stark reminder of the devastation.
Until you actually see one, it's hard to imagine.
For 25 years, Bill Pitterly has seen the aftermath and destruction that comes with flash floods. The Calm Creek at Water Wheel Recreation Center quickly changed in 2017 as roaring waters poured through.
Maybe they saw that tongue and maybe they started running, but you can't outrun it. It comes up too fast. In probably 60 seconds, it'd be 5, 6, 7 feet deep in here. That fast.
The Tunnel Rim Search and Rescue Team remembering the difficult days that follow in deadly flash floods and the long-term emotional toll it can take.
Your assumption always is they're still alive, so you're looking. Had several rescues like that where you're looking for a live person. You don't want to give in to the notion that maybe they've passed.
We want to bring that person home. Whether it's adult, child. Child is one of those ones that has an impact on everybody. It's a very, very emotional thing, and it's something that, you'll remember for quite a while.
It's a hard job. I know what they're feeling.
For miles along Houston Mesa Road, there are flash flood warning signs, but no early warning systems and no flood gauges.
These events can happen. They're unpredictable. The water is forceful. It's relentless, and it will continue down, and it doesn't matter what's in its path. And that's shown its, reared its ugly head in Texas for sure.
Now, in terms of emergency warning systems, there is no service in remote areas just like this one. Most of the time, people have no idea what's coming. In Gila County, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
And we are working to help raise money for victims' families in Texas. To learn more about our relief effort, head over to westcoastwrap.com. The Washington father suspected of killing his 3 daughters may have been spotted in Idaho. Investigators say they have a new tip about a man resembling Travis Decker in Idaho's Sawtooth National Forest. People spending time in the Bear Creek area of the forest say that the man they saw had a long ponytail and an overgrown beard. Decker is suspected of killing his 3 daughters last month. Their bodies were found near a campground in the middle of Washington state. Almost a week since a deadly explosion at a Yolo County, California warehouse storing fireworks. Families of those victims are still waiting answers. The remains of 7 people have now been recovered from the site. At a news conference this morning, the Yolo County Sheriff's Department says the coroner is working to positively identify the victims. They should be known within the next 2 days. A number of Bay Area residents are believed to be among those who died in the explosion last Tuesday. Officials say they're investigating at the site but are still dealing with undetonated explosives.
We have an obligation to make sure that this is done the right way and done thoroughly so that in the next stages of this incident, as the family begins their recovery process, that we're able to support them with all of the appropriate factual integrity information that they need to recover. So we're going to do our job to make sure that happens.
The State Fire Marshal Bomb and Arson Unit is leading this investigation into the cause of the fire and explosion. Bees on the attack claim 1 life in Arizona. 2 other people are hospitalized. Coming up, insect experts break down how to protect yourself from angry bees during those hot summer months.
In weather, here's our live camera in Denver right now, showing some cloud cover out there, current temperature of 80 degrees, and the possibility of some thunderstorms in the forecast for tomorrow. We'll have the update coming up.
Takes semaglutide are less likely to get Alzheimer's disease, and that is even compared to insulin.
And researchers in the West think popular weight loss drugs may be key to fighting Alzheimer's. Tonight, how they're getting tens of thousands of people to test their theory. Attack in Scottsdale, Arizona has left 1 person dead and 2 others hospitalized. It happened this morning as a crew worked on the roof of a senior living facility. KSAZ reporter Lauren Clark has more on how aggressive bees are becoming a growing danger in Arizona's summer heat.
We know 1 person is dead following a bee attack here at this facility, but exactly what happened is under investigation.
Above an independent living facility off Pinnacle Peak and Scottsdale Road, a lift lays on the ground. Scottsdale police say workers were trying to fix the roof when 3 of them were attacked by bees. All were rushed to the hospital, where 1 man died.
When it's very hot, these bees are very, very active. They're very, very aggressive.
Aaron Lordy, founder of AZB King, says this tragedy isn't too uncommon, especially during this time of the year. The hot temperatures make the bees more active, and that can be a major threat when well over 90% of bees in the state, he says, are Africanized.
If you run into a beehive up there, and it's been there a long time, these bees are Africanized. So that's what they do, is they will kill you. So even if you were to jump off and you're breaking your legs on the ground, they will follow you and they'll just sting you to death.
Not all the details about this attack are known, but Lordy thinks the location of this hive could have been a major problem.
Very, very aggressive. They're very territorial. And the second something sets them off, they will attack. They actually leave a scent inside of your skin, so it tells everybody to attack.
Which is why if you ever see any hives near your home, call a professional right away. And if you're attacked by a swarm,
there's only one thing you can do, and that's run.
And contrary to what you may believe, never, under any circumstances, do this.
Jump in a pool. A lot of people think, oh, I'll go underwater. And no, that's terrible, because what they'll do, they know you have to come up for air, and you're going to go face first, coming up for air. They're going to be stinging your face. So do not go in a pool.
This death is currently the source of an investigation with Scottsdale PD and the Office of the Medical Examiner. Reporting here in Scottsdale, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
Today marks 6 months since the start of wildfires that wiped out neighborhoods in Southern California. New images taken from a helicopter this afternoon show how mostly cleared lots remain in parts of Altadena, where the Eaton fire destroyed thousands of homes. California Governor Gavin Newsom was joined by Senator Alex Padilla and other state, federal, and local leaders in Pasadena this morning. The Palisades and Eaton fires began January 7th during severe windstorms. By the time they were contained, more than 37,000 acres had burned. More than 16,000 structures were destroyed. Another 2,000 were damaged. Dozens of families lost loved ones.
Altadena, the average life lost was 77 years old. You had great-grandparents, not just grandparents. You had a father and a son that died. You had brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles that perished in this fire. 30 lives lost.
LA Mayor Karen Bass says 80% of residential properties in the city have now been cleared of debris. 200 of 640 building plans have been approved. LA County officials say that they have received more than 1,000 rebuilding permits, the majority of those in the Eaton fire zone. California's largest fire of the year continues to grow tonight. The Madre fire has charred more than 80,000 acres of hilly terrain in San Luis Obispo County. Evacuation orders remain in effect in parts of San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties. This fire started July 2nd. Crews have containment up to 35%. The cause of this fire is still under investigation. People in parts of the Southwest are starting the work week with warnings about fire danger. This is a live look at Las Vegas, where temperatures climbed well into the triple digits today. Just east of the Las Vegas Valley, a red flag warning is in effect. Let's bring in KTVU Chief Meteorologist Mark DeMaio, who's tracking this hot, dry weather in the Southwest and other conditions across the West. Mark?
Hi there, Betty. Yeah, fire danger definitely on the increase for parts of the West. In fact, here you can see, as you mentioned, the fire danger in the parts of Nevada. You can see a red flag warning in place as we come in closer on this map here, and this is in place for your Tuesday. So still elevated fire danger as we are tracking the dry, stronger winds. And here's the forecast model. It kind of lumps everything together: the temperature, the wind, the relative humidity. So where you have some coverage, that's where fire danger is on the increase. So this is tomorrow morning, 2 a.m., actually 8 a.m. Not too bad out there, but then into the afternoon hours, look what happens. All these colors blossom for parts of California and into portions of Nevada. So definitely have to keep an eye on fire danger over the next few days. And also the hot temperatures returning. Phoenix under an extreme heat warning Tuesday through Thursday, and temperatures could be on the order of 110 to 117 degrees. This was the scene today in Phoenix, a high still of 111 degrees earlier this afternoon. As we show you the Bay Area, there's some fog out toward the coast, out towards San Francisco. 64 degrees, and a warm day up in the Pacific Northwest. This was Seattle, a temperature today in the 80s, 85 degrees. We'll go ahead and show you the satellite right now, and you can see some thunderstorm activity out toward portions of Colorado, moving into parts of Arizona and New Mexico as well. In fact, here's a look at the coverage right now with the radar out toward parts of the Rockies, some thunderstorms moving through that portion of the West. Current numbers out there: it is 103 in Las Vegas right now, San Francisco 65. It's warm up in the Pacific Northwest. Portland and Seattle both in the 80s. Here's the weather story for tomorrow. Another warm day up in Seattle. Temperatures on the cool side in San Francisco, lower 60s. Some 80s for Southern California. Of course, we talked about the heat in Phoenix. And then a few clouds out toward Denver with about a 20% chance of some thunderstorms developing throughout the day tomorrow. Here is the forecast model, the Fox weather model, showing you this. And you can see maybe some more showers and thunderstorms out toward parts of Colorado. Beside that, though, looks like a fairly quiet weather pattern that will take us into your forecast for tomorrow. Over the next 3 days, Seattle actually has, after a warm day tomorrow, looks like we're going to cool things off by Wednesday and bring in some shower chances. And then for the Bay Area, San Francisco, temperatures in the 60s. Los Angeles, lots of 80s. Denver, the heat builds in, especially by Wednesday. And of course, you can see that heat really building in Phoenix, 113 to 117 degrees. So get ready for that dangerous heat making a comeback over the next several days. Betty.
A tough crowd greeted Vice President J.D. Vance in San Diego over the weekend. Protesters gathered outside the sushi restaurant where he dined yesterday. They booed his motorcade as he left the restaurant and yelled complaints about federal funding cuts. The vice president was in San Diego to help raise money for the Republican Party. He also received the 2025 Statesmanship Award from conservative think tank, the Claremont Institute. President Trump is cranking up his trade war. Today, the White House announced plans for a 25% tariff on imports from Japan and South Korea starting August 1st, unless the countries make a deal. It also announced plans for 40% tariffs on goods from some growing countries. The president provided notice of the tariffs by posting letters on social media that were addressed to world leaders. Critics say the White House is creating an environment of economic chaos.
This is a trade war that our businesses are paying a heavy price for in uncertainty and not knowing what will happen next. And consumers, instead of seeing the drastic reduction in prices that Trump promised us in January, we're seeing prices go up in one area after another.
Weeks ago, I stood at this podium and I told all of you that the president was going to create tailor-made trade plans for each and every country on this planet. And that's what this administration continues to be focused on.
The White House says the tariff rates were not negotiated. They were set by the president. Stepped up pressure on trading partners took a toll on Wall Street. Losses were widespread today, with the Dow falling 422 points. The Nasdaq was off 188 and S&P 500 lost 49 points. Positioned for a rebound. Coming up, the West Coast housing market's likely to show strength in the coming months, and a possible new benefit of popular weight loss drugs. Tonight, researchers in the West test how they affect dementia patients. Border Patrol agents have video posted to social media showing how they think a truck driver tried to smuggle people through New Mexico. They say the driver had 13 people hidden in his cab and the flatbed of his semi. Border Patrol agents stopped the truck last month west of Las Cruces. The unidentified driver is facing charges of transportation of illegal aliens. The nationalities of the migrants have not been released. Their removal proceedings are underway. Research underway at UNLV throws popular weight loss drugs in the fight against Alzheimer's disease. Fox 5's Alexis Fernandez spoke with one of the lead researchers about what his team is discovering.
For nearly a decade, the Kirk Kerkorian School of Medicine at UNLV has been tracking the global effort to find a cure for Alzheimer's, a disease that slowly destroys a person's memory.
By looking at what happens over time, we can see what are the most promising drugs, which drugs and which kind of trials are leading to new therapies, which are not, what are the kinds of new therapies that doctors might anticipate becoming available for their patients.
Its annual report looks at the status of 182 active clinical trials and 138 drugs being studied.
The fact that we have almost twice as many drugs in the early phases than last year, for example, really gives us confidence that we're going to have new treatments for Alzheimer's disease.
In Nevada, nearly 50,000 people are living with Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. While there is no cure, there are drugs to slow the progression of the disease. A recent study by JAMA Neurology also found benefits to weight loss drugs that treat type 2 diabetes and obesity.
Who take semaglutide are less likely to get Alzheimer's disease. And that is even compared to insulin, for example.
The drugs can help improve blood sugar control, which affects brain health.
Optimistic that drug development for Alzheimer's disease is very robust and continues to grow.
And that was Fox 5's Alexis Fernandez reporting. More than 50,000 people are involved in the clinical trials. Results are expected by late next year. Finally tonight, people in 2 West Coast cities can expect to see some of the best housing market rebounds in the country. Denver and Seattle are on Realtor.com's top 5 list of cities where the inventory of available homes has surpassed pre-pandemic supply levels. Denver ranks number 1, Seattle comes in at number 3. Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio round out the top 5. Realtor.com found Denver has seen a 100% increase in housing inventory since the pandemic. It links the surge to several factors, including an uptick in construction. The website expects market conditions will shift in a buyer-friendly direction due to sellers being more willing to negotiate. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. You can always stay up to date on all the latest stories we're covering online. Just go to westcoastwrap.com. You can stream all of our shows on your smart TV. Just download the Fox Local app. Have a great night.
Hi, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you hear me? I do, yes.